You rock when you dip, move to the drum and make your body kick. Step forward and come up back quick, that's all the new style. Style, new dance and lick. Swing your hand in the ear, then you rock when you dip. Move to the drum and make your body kick. Step forward and come up back quick. That's all the new style where the whole place I do. Rock, bogle, dance, some music sweet you. Bogle around the place night and day. So just rock, bogle, dance, some of your tune I play. I must sing on it that after no so bogle stay. She can't do it, come on, she a rock same way. Me love how the girl never do it. Rock so, deep so, to God them look sweet. Trust me, I and I love stand up and see. Uptown, downtown, I rock to the beat. Jeremy and I try about him already. He better make stumpy, teach him the steps. Always wonder stiff like piece of wood. Never idiot, I can do bogle good. Hey, you hear, new style, new dance and lick. When your hand in the ear, then you rock, then you dip. Move to the drum and make your body kick. Step forward and come up back. I just a new style where the whole place I do. Rock, bogle, dance, come sweet you. Bogle around the place night and day. So just do bogle dance, some of your tune I play. Angie and Beverly, them a bogle dancer. Diane can't do it, but she still want follow. She stiff like our, but she no cater. She a watch Angie, them on a move her shoulder. Get the rock, the engineer, who go like a fool. Practice bogle in a him bathroom. Come a dance hall and a go like him bad. I skin up him face like him a bogle god, but bogle are the other for the day. The wickedest dance from out and J.A. Bogle, you should.
When you're in love, so wonderful thing, your mind at rest, you wanna try your new found love is like a brand new toy. It fills you up, you wanna birth with joy. When you're in love, it's a wonderful thing, your mind at rest, you wanna try your best. Prepare a place in your heart, that's where it all starts. A place in your heart, make love your resort. Open your heart and let these feelings in. To deny these emotions would be like a sin. On you's love and true love I give you. We've made the start, so let's never part. Prepare a place in your heart, that's where it all starts. A place in your heart, make love your resort. Yeah, a place in your heart, that's where it all starts. A place in your heart, make love your resort. New love is calling, can you hear my friend? It's rapping at the door, now breaking and entering. New love is calling, can you hear my friend? It's rapping at your door, you better make sure. A place in your heart, that's where it all starts. A place in your heart, make love your resort.
Well, it's quite a colourful spectacle here for the 1992 Manning Cup final between Tivoli Gardens in black and orange to the right of your screen. St. George's, the 16-time winners, to the left of your screen in their traditional light blue and white. Quite a memorable final it promises to be. And it's also a repeat of 1983 when these two teams met in the title decider, St. George's winning on penalty on that occasion. Ali Rose with the ball now, going forward for St. George's, touching it towards the right, finding McLean. McLean tries to force that one past Massop, and the ball goes out for a throw to the St. George's team, which McLean will take for them. Looking at both teams' road to the final, counting it from the semi-final stage, Tivoli defeated Charles Smith by 2-1. They had a 4-3 victory over Ardennes. Then they came back to stop Excelsior by 3-1, and the distinctive pattern of Tivoli's involvement here. Steve Green with a cross, trying to find his captain Massop, and touching back to Williams. So that goes across the line. The throw will go to Tivoli. Just picking up back on that point of conversation, the distinctive pattern of Tivoli's march to the final is that they came from behind on occasion to win their respective matches. The most notable was that against Ardennes, where there were 2-0 down, and they came back to win 4-3. For St. George's, it was 4-1 against Dunoon, an emphatic 5-1 against St. Andrew Technical, and in the last match they were held to a goalless draw by Kingston Technical. And looking at the respective statistics on a tabulated pattern, 9 goals scored by St. George's while conceding 2, and for Tivoli, they also have scored, but they have conceded all of 4. Glancing back header here, Ali Rose turning back, trying to find Robinson, and blocked, and not the most composed. We've seen the St. George's team in attack, but the drums continue to boom and the flags continue to fly, and the shout, Georges, Georges, continue in the background. One might say it might well be a clash between the drummer and the soldiers bearing the machine guns. Firecrackers erupted earlier on, and that was complemented by the drum beats in the background. And with me this afternoon is Mark Mendel, a man of tremendous football repute in this country, most notable for his exploits with Swallowfield. Mark, welcome to today's coverage. Any outlook by you?
Thank you, Junior. I can see that the match is developing to a very good one. Both teams coming to win. It's only one final, and it looks like so far both teams are trying to find a goal.
Well, St. George's on the attack now through Williams. Williams trying to create space. He is very famous for that. Getting the cross in, turned out there by Brown. It's coming back now to Francis, but found there by St. George's College, and on the far side, that was Troy Robinson caught in the offside position. What has been noticeable about these two teams, Mark, is that St. George's had been quite a very frequent scorer before the semi-final stage of the competition. They continued that pattern into the semi-final, but Tivoli, who had not been scoring very heavily in the preliminary round, suddenly find their boot. And also, St. George's came through the semi-final group with 5 points. They having dropped 1. Tivoli came with 6 points. Last year we saw the reverse with Ardennes and Tivoli. Ardennes winning all their semi-final matches. St. George make that Tivoli dropping 1 point, but Ardennes come away with the crown. Is that an indication that it could be improved?
Yes, I think that George is coming in with a tremendous record of being very strong in the first 45 minutes. They are calling the game in the second half. I think today, the one that's going to score in the first half is going to win the Manning Cup.
Well, Tivoli on the attack now, blocked there by Williams. It's coming back to Green on the far side. Green turns forward, looking for Francis, and taken away there by Chung. Chung being checked by the referee's whistle, and perchance we forgot to outline the referees here on duty today. A very strong contingent of officials. Clayton Solomon in the middle. On the far side of the field is Noel Smith, and on the near side is Nathan Roots Richards. Free kick awarded to Tivoli to be taken by Paul Scott on the far side. Scott looks, he has make that mass up there going with him, and a glancing one towards goal from Kevin Jackson straight to Edsel Scott, who exhibited a little discomfort, twisting the neck and perhaps shaking off the butterflies, driving it forward, looking for Robinson, but turned out there by the number 13 for the Tivoli team. That's Kevin Francis. This is Hamilton. Still Hamilton. Still Hamilton with the ball, touching forward now and finding Green. Green gets rid of his man and sends a cross in. Oh, well, the far side. Clark is across there, touching back and finding Williams. And Williams getting it across again. Green is there. And oh, it's over the bar. So, attacking intention signaled there by Tivoli, Mark.
Yes, I think that they are here motivated to put pressure on the Georgia defenses in the first 45 minutes. They found a spot. I think going to continue pressuring on the side.
Well, St. George is on the attack. This is Rose, having it knocked away, taken here by Francis. And Francis making room towards the right and trying to find Hamilton, finding Green instead. Picked up now by Phillipson. And Phillipson sending Robinson forward. This is Robinson. And a tame kick. And certainly the wet on the foot conditions are not doing the skills of both teams any justice at the moment, Mark.
No, I think the conditions are very heavy in the field. I think that the players are not to concentrate too much on running the ball on the ground. They should make long passes, and I think that they realize that. And so far, both teams have good chances of scoring.
Well, this is Bolt driving that one forward for Tivoli. Intercepted here by Williams. Robinson waiting on the far side. Ali Rose in the center, banged away by Brown. It's coming back now to Green. Picked up now by Chung, and Chung forward to Rose, but he was waved offside by the linesman Nathan Roots Richards. So going to Tivoli, and Scott on the far side to take it for them. Scott driving it forward, aiming that one for Green, but finding Hamilton instead. Still Tivoli in control here. Chung missing that one. And still Tivoli keeping possession here, aiming this one for Massop on the far side. And he keeps it in. Massop with the ball going forward. Still Massop. And swept away there by McLean. And goes now for a goal kick to St. George's. Certainly, from what we've seen so far, Mark, we have a very, very exciting and enthralling game on our hands.
Yes, indeed. I think both teams realize that the first 45 minutes are very important, either to keep it at a nil level or to score first. I think that's what they're both trying.
Well, this is Hamilton touching back to Williams. Williams with the ball, driving it forward, but that one should have been a pass, but it turned out to be a shot. Competently handled there by Edsel Scott, and a goal kick resulting here to the St. George's team. First 4 minutes of this game, seeing no goals as yet. This is coming back to Prendergast, who blasts this one clear for St. George's. Taken by Williams, still Williams. And outside for a throw to the St. George's team. The crowd not agreeing much with that call, but the referee's in charge, and he has power out there. This is McLean, aiming for Williams, and out. The throw will once again go to St. George's. So St. George's gradually penetrating Tivoli domain. McLean aiming for Williams. Still Williams with the ball going forward, and intercepted here by Claudius Massop. Massop trying to get that one forward to Clark, but hooked back here by Spencer. And now Green, turned out there by Hall, and coming to Francis, losing it now to Phillipson. Rose on the far side collects for St. George's and sends Chung forward. Quite an unaccustomed position here for him. This is Chung, Jason Chung going forward, and finally knocked clear by Bolt. Marcellus Bolt. Throw quickly taken by Georges. Turned back over there, and that's Chung. And now Rose. Robinson operating in concert. This is dangerous. Oh, punched away. And claimed now by Massop. And Massop looking around, seeing himself with room. Absolutely no panic. Phillipson collects here and finds McLean. And now Hunter coming up. And now Robinson. of my recollection, the Tivoli team lost to St. George's by 3-0, and this was exactly the fashion in which they lost, Mark, applying the pressure at one moment and all of a sudden the other moment finding the goal in the back of it.
Yes, that's what we tend not to realize, that attacking have their own chances of getting a goal against you. I think that both teams are playing a lot on the midfield. Too much space is created behind the defenders. St. George's are good at penetrating. Tivoli would have to watch that.
Well, this is Scott hooking it forward, knocking it forward here for Tivoli, coming back to Hunter. And Hunter looking for Williams and finding him, but just momentarily, as Claude Massop claims possession now and finds Green on the far side. This is Green still, stalked all the time by Jason Chung, and now picked up here by Tivoli. And St. George's fighting their way out of trouble, but it might just be temporary, as Scott on the far side to take the throw for Tivoli. Quite an even game so far. If anything, Tivoli just getting that thin edge. Back now to Scott, and Scott with it, looking for options and getting the cross in, and straight to Edsel Scott, his opposite number, or should I say his namesake, in goal. And now Tivoli claims possession. This is Hamilton. He did score 2 against Ardennes. Can he go here? Oh, still going is Hamilton, knocking back to Massop with a massive shot over the bar.
A tremendous shot by Massop. I think that it was a very beautiful shot. He had the space to go a little more to the center, but it was a good intention.
Well, Tivoli, they went to the final last year against Ardennes, and they came away without the title. Total determination, total talent, total resoluteness in the camp that this must be the year for them. And if they should continue along this attacking mode, then certainly their dream should be fulfilled. But this is Brown coming back in defense for them now. Then dispossessed here by Rose, sweeps it across, trying to find Williams. And now Phillipson picks it up for them, and trying to find Spencer on the far side. Cut out here by Francis, who drives it forward, and looking here for more options. This is Green going forward, still Green. Oh, still going, and that's up. Oh, saved and blocked finally.
It was a beautiful move by Tivoli forward. Unfortunately, they miss it. A good goalkeeping from Georges.
Well, Georges on the counter-attack now through Robinson, and Robinson touching back, finding Williams, trying to chip it over his man's head, but it's coming back now to, let's see, that's Clark, and now this Rose, Robinson trying to hit pivot, turned out by Tivoli. Massop going in pursuit, and denied here by Hunter. Hunter chips forward, finding Robinson, and Robinson tries to give Hunter the return pass, but fired out by Marcellus Bolt. And a throw to St. George's deep inside the Tivoli half, and what a game on our hands so far. High one, aiming it for Robinson, glancing at it towards goal, and Rose hitting it across the line. He might have turned, but he thought that he would flick. But that would have been very difficult, a very difficult angle from which to contemplate such a shot. Well, they did hit Tivoli by surprise in the first meeting in the Walker Cup earlier this season. An emphatic 3-0 victory. All 3 goals from my recollection coming against the run of play, and that was in the first half. And Kingston Technical had shown Tivoli the way that if you can absorb the attacking energies of St. George's and frustrate them, then you should have for the taking in the second half. Only in that respect, Kingston Technical did not lead by example. Well, this is St. George's on the attack now. Williams sending Spencer forward. The heavy on the foot position seemed to be taking its toll on the Georges players so far. Knocking back and aiming that one for, that was McLean again, but this is Tivoli on the attack. Steve Green sending Massop forward again. Massop, oh! Well, I can't believe this. Hitting the Kevin Jackson, who has 2 goals under his belt, getting the easiest of chances and hitting the post. What happened, Mark, between the space between the goalpost and the goalkeeper that he had at his mercy?
I think what is taking place here, that the team's concentrating on the midfield and they are ignoring the defensive aspect of it. The Tivoli players have two excellent chances. They missed both a while ago. It was a cross, it was a bar. I think they have to watch the defenders who have to concentrate on marking because how goals are scored.
Well, according to the trend of things, the Saints are not very optimistic at this stage of going marching in. The drums are there to keep the players alive, but certainly this is not the St. George's team that we've seen campaigning in the earlier part of the season. Many persons might have thought that it could be a foregone conclusion for the George's team, but this Tivoli team had different ideas. The score mark is still 0-0 at the stage. Williams to take the throw for them now, finding his captain Massap, and still Massap with options toward the right and the left, and blocked there by Philipson. And now this is McLean finding Philipson, and Philipson looking back for him, but Williams managing to keep it in, the flag going up eventually. This Tivoli team, after that very heavy defeat by St. George's, came into the semi-finals of the Manning Cup 2-1, coming behind against Charlie Smith, the very high-powered Charlie Smith, 4-3 against Ardennes after coming down by, from 2-0, and they've come back with a vengeance in that final match, winning 3-1 against Excelsior, coming from behind once again. Certainly they are the team with a touch just now, and definitely the team they will all have to beat, or should I say St. George's alone will have to beat now. But this is Scott firing it forward, looking for Kevin Jackson and finding him, who sends Steve Green forward, but he's checked by Chung. The Chung now turning towards the right, finding Prendergast, and Prendergast trying to send Rose forward, but Clark will shadow his goalkeeper, seeing to it that he comes to no harm, driving this one forward, finding Jackson. Jackson having it knocked away, and picked up here by Prendergast, by Dane Hall again. And now this is Robinson touching back to Williams, and Williams skipping past his man. Still Andrew Williams, now to Troy Robinson, and back to Williams again. Lovely touch here by St. George's, but banged away by Chris Brown for Tivoli Gardens. St. George's through Spencer in possession, touching back to McLean. McLean waiting for the forwards to come from behind the line. Lovely one to Spencer. Oh, corner. First corner of the match. 18.5 minutes gone in the match. St. George's 0, Tivoli 0. Can this be the motion that yields the first goal in the match? Trevor Spencer has it in his hand, glanced the wrong way there by Rose, and finally turned out by Williams. And now Hamilton, shot there by Williams. It's coming back to Scott, who turns it clear, and finding Jackson, who glances it, looking for Steve Green on the far side, but finding no one in his colour shirt in support up there. Turned out there by the St. George's goalkeeper, trying to find Williams on the far side. Infringement called against, that seems to be Paul Scott on the far side, so the kick will go to St. George's College. Kicking it for them. This is Prendergast going across there to do it. St. George's definitely seem to be flagging, not the team that raced or motored in this into this final. This is Massap. Well, this is surely a lesson for the unbelievers. The team that looks really impressive before the day might not necessarily be the team indeed. At the international level, there are so many lessons to be learnt. The 1982 Brazilian team in Spain, well, on early form alone, would have been crowned the World Cup champions of that year. And in 1974, a little earlier back, that arrogant Dutch team that almost stole the hearts of all on hand to see them, but they were cornered and defeated by the home team Germany in that final. This is not international football, Markio, but so many are the lessons at the highest level that I think the pedestal, the stage has been set for the younger ones, those operating at the lower level. But this is going to be Prendergast driving that one forward, and Massap claims it now for Tivoli, going towards Green on the far side, taken there by Chung, and now finding Williams. And Williams still with the ball, but losing it now to, that's Massap. And over there, St. George's coming back into defence. Goalkeeper Ethel Scott, quite an excellent keeper, one of the best, I must admit, I've seen in schoolboy competition this year. so far kept the Tivoli strikers at bay. Well, the game has subsided in intensity just now. Robinson on the far side being stalked all the time by Scott. The flag goes and the throw will go to St. George's, and the man Jason Chung across there to take it for them. So 21 minutes gone, no goals as yet. In fact, Chung has given way to the man they call the octopus, the man with the arms and legs, finding Robinson on the far side, but knocked out there by Scott. Another throw to St. George's. This time it might well be the diminutive Jason Chung to take the throw. In the meantime, Kevin Francis, who had been given some attention on the sidelines, is now okay. Might have changed his boot there to suit the rather slippery conditions out there, as Phillipson comes to take the throw for them, trying to find Robinson. Robinson nods back, aiming for Williams, and finding Phillipson instead. It's a mighty whack at it. It crosses the line on the near side for a throw to Tivoli. So, lack of intensity now in this game. This game just about 23 or so minutes old, Mark. What do you think, what strategies do you think the teams might be contemplating just now after failing to break the deadlock?
Well, both teams concentrating on scoring an early goal, and you can observe from the both teams attacking. Tivoli have so far more chances, clear chances to score the first goal. It's looked like the early goal habit is now cooling down. The both teams start to settle, play the ball. They are cautious not to go get a goal. I hope they're going to settle and play the ball and look for opportunity and go back to the second half and try to get it done.
From the best of my memory, I have not seen or recollected St. George's coming from behind in any match that they've played so far this season. Do you think if Tivoli should score against them first for the first time, do you think that this will offset their concentration?
I think they certainly will. I think that it's a final match. It's not an ordinary match. Any team that scores first is going to have to maintain it within the 90 minutes. Tivoli is a team that's coming from behind in many matches. I think that if they are to get a goal against them, they will do the same. But I hope that the match will go into the any team scoring the first goal without having to come from behind. The excitement is there already.
Well, ball turned out there by Prendergast, so the throw will go to Tivoli. Pretty deep inside the St. George's half. This is Williams. And Williams getting the return pass there from Marcellus Bolt. Turned out by Williams. Scott coming back towards the centre. And now Ali Rose having it knocked away. Turned away there by Brown, a very fine defender from Tivoli. Directing the traffic. And now Williams picking up and finding Robinson. And Robinson to Spence on the far side. Blocked. And coming back to Robinson, who fires over the top. And it's really interesting here, Mark, to see St. George's College, when they are required to strike from a distance, especially towards this final here, they have not been able to do it as easily as they would have converted those chances that they built up from inside their own half, through the midfield and to the forward line. They really have created some beautiful goals, well constructed, but now they have been called upon to hit the shots from long range, and they don't seem very good at it.
Well, we have to recognize that this is a final match, and both teams are, the normality in which the finals are played are different than ordinary match. I think both of them are very anxious to win. The tension is there, and so far I see that the strikers from Georges are very dangerous, and the Tivoli defender give them too much space. They have to watch that.
Well, Tivoli campaigning without Marvin Morgan, a man who has struck two beautiful goals for them. And that's Massap going for the direct shot and hitting it over the bar. The drums continue to beat towards our right, urging the Georgians on. We heard the chants when the Saints go marching in. STGC Georges. Well, the real battle is on. It's now not the battle of the spectators to see who can produce a much more catchy cheer. But now this is Hamilton! And straight to Scott. Well, Tivoli is still on the attack here. Massop. And, well, Williams been struck in the face there. He has recovered, however, and very good spirit there exhibited between those that player on the far side. Can't quite make him out. It seems as though it might well be Kevin Francis. Actually apologizing to appease the wrath of the no-nonsense referee Clayton Solomon. On the far side, that's Prendergast to take this kick for them. Driving it across the field. Spencer glancing forward, and Rose with the back header. That's Robinson, rather. Turned out there by Chris Brown. And now to Marcellus Bolt. And let's see now, this is Prendergast again. And McLean falling to the turf and getting the whistle in his favor. So the free kick will go to St. George's inside the Tivoli half. It's no goals yet in this match. St. George's 0, Tivoli 0, and Trevor Spencer to take the kick for them. Spencer hitting it forward, turned out there by the Tivoli defense, turned forward now by Francis, and now Spencer reclaims it and knocked forward again by Brown. And this is now Jackson finding Massop on the far side. Massop stabbing it forward. He might have gone for the cross because Steve Green was arriving on the far side. This is Williams keeping it in, but straight to the other Williams from the Tivoli team. That is, in fact, Richard Williams. Out it goes now, and a throw to Jason Chung, and St. George's on the far side. Chung trying to find Williams again. And the throw goes to... Seems as though it might be a free kick to be awarded here, or will it be a throw? Awarded by Clayton Solomon. The man Phillipson to take it. The Octopus, as he's known, or otherwise called Matlock. Well, quite a creative midfielder, quite a tenacious man for St. George's. He, on many occasions, has made the difference as to whether St. George's sink or swim. Play on. Well, this is Scott looking for Jackson, but claimed here by Chung, and finding Robinson on the far side. And Hamilton, make that Scott getting it, but not getting it clear enough. St. George is still in possession here. And now this is Williams. Still Williams. Oh, Williams still gets across in, and Spencer. And now Chung hugs it. Julian Chung in goal for Tivoli. He wasn't expected to be the man keeping in the final. But after that 3-0 defeat of St. George's over Tivoli in the Walker Cup semi-finals, we have seen where George Gordon, taken out of the goal, a man accused of crying too much when under pressure, and he had been replaced by the younger and the more effervescent Julian Chung. Well, this is Francis sweeping forward, looking for Massop, out down there by Phillipson, and now Chung finding Spencer and back to Phillipson. McLean to Rose. Rose rather deep. Still Rose. Touching forward, finding McLean again. And he tries to send Robinson forward. Support arriving on the far through Williams. Touching back. Steve Green is giving a hand in defense for Tivoli, and succeeding at it. The throw will go to St. George's. Well, in fact, the Tivoli team had been given the throw. Linesman Richard Nathan much closer to the action than we are. High one. Glance forward. Oh, Clark not managing to get that one, or make that Jackson not managing to get that one to Steve Green as he intended. Crossing the touchline for a throw to St. George's once again. And this is McLean aiming it for Robinson. Williams for Tivoli not managing to keep it in, so the throw once again will go to the St. George's team. Certainly, Kingston College had sapped some of the energy, some of the prestige, the aura of invincibility from this St. George's team. Their first goalless match in the entire season, excepting that first match against Norman Manley, which doesn't count in the final analysis. This is Brown for Tivoli. A moment of confusion here in the Tivoli defense. And now this is Hamilton, but straight to Phillipson, and Phillipson, lovely touch here. This is, well, McLean. Certainly not accustomed to be in that scoring position, Mark. He is a wing-back that overlaps and provides the passes during the season for the forwards. Suddenly he finds himself in a goal-scoring position and failing to convert.
Yes, what you notice that as a George's team, they're taking kicks, they're kicking the ball very high. They're not doing too well at that, but they find a way very easy on scoring position. And it's very nice to see two teams attacking from the beginning and getting chances. Normally you don't see that in final matches.
Well, this is Massop, back heel that one forward. Hunter knocks it out, coming to Kingsley Hamilton, but denied there by Phillipson. And the throw going to Tivoli on the far side, which let's see Paul Scott will take for them. Paul Scott, one of the veterans, a very diminutive player. What he lacks in size, he makes up for with heart. This is St. George's on the attack now, through another survivor from last year, Troy Robinson. And now Spencer trying to send Rose forward. Clear-cut chance now for St. George's. Rose going forward. The defense from Tivoli are massing back. And, well, we're not accustomed, Mark, to see Ali Rose, who has struck 3 hat-tricks in the season so far. His statistics here show that he has scored 13 goals in the Manning Cup, and he has scored 3 in the Walker Cup. A tremendous, prolific goal scorer, and yet he has kicked wide from that angle.
Yes, because you notice that there were 3 Tivoli defenders marking him, and he tried to dribble, but he couldn't find his way. I think he should have taken the shot on the first time, but as soon as he started dribbling, he found that the next defenders of Tivoli, they mark him off, and they couldn't manage it.
Well, this is St. George's on the defense, now turning this into an attacking move. Lovely touch here. And still St. George's through Spencer in possession, trying to find his man. Picked up here now by Bolt. And Bolt trying to send Steve Green forward. Steve Green still forward, still Green. But McLean coming back in defense here. And still McLean with the ball, holding on to it in a very dangerous area. And this is Francis. Oh, now Williams finding Spencer. And now trying to find him again, but denied there by Williams, and the 2 Williams are involved in a crash there. The benefit goes to the Williams from Tivoli. He is Richard Williams. You're the Williams involved was Andrew Williams. Well, definitely Tivoli cannot afford another injury of any magnitude here. They have already lost the service of Marvin Morgan, having been on 3 yellow cards in the season, and it could have made a tremendous difference had Marvin Morgan been in this Tivoli team. He struck a scorcher against Charles Smith, rocking the roof of the net, and he scored another magnificent goal against Ardennes. And not available for the Tivoli team could well be the end of his campaign for 1992. But still, Tivoli are a goal, or nil all rather, with this George's team so far. Should Tivoli win the Manning Cup here, they have a chance against Rusiz in the Olivia Shield final. But right now this is Robinson attacking for St. George's, and he gets a cross in and into the side netting. Goal kick to Tivoli.
I think that one of them are eventually going to find his way, but Tivoli will have to watch the penetration.
Well, Phillipson to Chung, and Chung to Robinson, and Robinson on the pivot. Well, this man, Troy Robinson, he loves to score, and he begrudges every other member of his team who scores. And if you think he hates not scoring, you should just imagine when his coach is aiming to take him off. He's a man who just doesn't love to leave the field, and he will do anything in his power to remain there. Well, a player that gives us all times found guilty of selfishness, but then he must realize that his effort must be towards the benefit of his team if they're going to succeed against the odds here, as it turned out to be. One would have thought that it would have been Tivoli at the receiving end now with this cross, and it's there! Claudius Massop!
A tremendous header by Massop. Junior, what took place here?
Turned out to be, one would have thought that it would have been Tivoli at the receiving end now with this cross, and it's there! Claudius Massop!
A tremendous header by Massop. Junior, what took place here? It's a beautiful cross from the right flank into the Massop head. The goalkeeper stand no chance. Tivoli 1, St. George's 0.
Well, Claudius with a glancing header in the 37th minute of play, and one would believe now that with all this excitement, with all this jubilation in the Tivoli camp, that the George's drums would have been silent, but it's not so. Massop coming back into defense, lending a hand there. Williams sensing the urgency, now losing it to Francis, and Francis going forward, looking for options towards the right, aiming for Green, nodded out there by Phillipson, claimed now by Spencer, and back to Phillipson, and he tries to follow who was in the offside position, and all of a sudden, Mark, this game has come alive again.
Junior, it's getting close to the end of the first half. Tivoli look very motivated by this goal. They are continuing to put pressure. I think they're going to come in the second half. Well, George will have to go black to blackboard and work out how they're going to manage, because Georges has not been proven to be a second half team so far. They decide the game in the first half.
Well, Clark, and now this is Massop, the goal scorer, leading by example of the captain here, finding Jackson, but rather this is Bolt, and Bolt with a cross. Steve Green is there, touching back, and trying to find Scott overlapping over the right wing position, and Scott throwing himself at the ball, taken here by Williams, and play on, says the referee. St. George is on a counter-attack now. This is Robinson, Rose giving support on the far side with a shot, and right across the goal mouth.
Yes, indeed, a similar case. He should have bring the ball inside the penalty. He shouldn't take a shot from there, but it looked like one of the bad shots of George's. I think that might be the last one for the first half.
Well, with this goal from Claudius Massop in the 37th minute of play, it marks the first time for the season that St. George's will have to come from behind. Will they be up to the task? A yellow card been issued there to Clark. Charlton Clark has been given the yellow card. He had played a few games in the season so far, but that has not been a regular starter. Well, providing he's sent off, the Tivoli crowd will still be happy. The Tivoli coach will no doubt be overjoyed if he could do his best to remain. The team from West Kingston are on top, and they're enjoying every moment of it. Black and orange flags are waving everywhere. The celebration is still ensuing here. What atmosphere inside the National Stadium in the 1992 Malta Manning Cup final. Now McLean to take the throw, trying to find Robinson, turned out there by Francis. Phillipson recovers for St. George's, but loses it to Francis again. And now Steve Green on the far side, a player who might not be scoring an awful lot of goal, but provides tremendous mobility up front for the Tivoli effort. And this one he flicks across, hoping to have found Kingsley Hamilton, but Ethel Scott was there first and sends the ball immediately at Georges. And now Scott wheeling it towards the left, and he intended, however, to find his captain, but his accuracy eluded him that time. The throw will go now to St. George's College.
What you notice at Tivoli game, when they go forward with the ball, they let the ball move and get the ball into the penalty area where the goals are scored, and I enjoy that move. They're not dribbling too much. That's a good standard of football.
Well, Scott out, and now Williams on the far side. Robin giving support up flank, and knocked out there by the Tivoli defense. Marcellus Bolt coming forward this time to deny the St. George's team. They will have to initiate this action from that free kick awarded by the referee. Williams is there to take it for them. Robinson on the near post. Ali Rose towards the centre. Phillipson with a glancing header. And it goes. Goal kick to Tivoli. The moments counting down now towards half-time. 41.5 minutes gone in this match. St. George's 0, Tivoli 1, and what an enthralling final it has been so far. Well, I did go to Montego Bay on Saturday to watch the DaCosta Cup final, and certainly that final was not one of the most memorable in the DaCosta Cup history. The five-time champions, Rossies, did it, and they will be up against the winner of this team. And the Nature Village Farm will be the scene of the battle come Saturday in the first leg of the Olivier Shield. Now, this is Spencer, and denied by Chris Brown, looking for Green, but kept alive there for St. George's by Phillipson. And, well, a moment of panic in the Tivoli defence. They have recovered, however, but not totally so. Prendergast takes it for them and tries to find a Chung on the far side. Jason Chung touching forward now to Robinson. Ali Rose waiting for the cross, but it was never to come, and all of St. George's is angry.
General, what you can see here that the St. George's find it very difficult to take shots or to get the ball across. I believe they were overconfident over the past few matches. They should take that seriously for the second half, because Tivoli are there to maintain the lead and to put more pressure, because if Tivoli is the team that came from behind, they should certainly have an easy time today. They don't have to come from behind. They are leading 1-0. All they need to do is maintain it and do some attacking to get the second goal.
Well, Mark, they say possession is power, and if Tivoli are to maintain this 1-0 advantage, they will have to maintain possession of this ball. It's 42 coming up to 43 minutes of the first half gone. St. George's 0, Tivoli 1. That's the story here at the National Stadium. Well, quite a packed house on hand to see it, and one wonders at the tremendous interest in schoolboy football in this country. It has been ever since the introduction of schoolboy football over a century ago. St. George's on the attack now. They have won this title some 15 times already, looking for number 16 this season. But Tivoli, who won it in 1976, their only hold on the title. They went to the final 1983 with St. George's. They were beaten on penalties there. They went to the final again in 1991. They were beaten on penalties by Ardennes. And now here they are in the 1992 final, and leading by 1-0. This is Massop trying to get it clear, but stucking his boot in the turf and recovering here, leading by example, sending it forward, aiming for Green, and Green recovering after the slip from Chung. Shot! And just high.
You know, I enjoyed that half so much. The Tivoli players, they are not keeping possession of the ball. They let the ball move, and they're taking shots, and in particular on the right flank. I think that's what football is all about. Let the ball move to the space, the chance to take shots. I think the senior team have something to learn today about it.
Well, this is Scott clearing this one for them, aiming it at Hamilton. Well, Hamilton actually going in pursuit of the ball now. Turned out there by Dane Hall, and Hunter having a foul committed against him rather. The kick goes to St. George's, quickly taken here. This is Andy Williams. And Massop claims it for Tivoli now. Quite a masterful little player. And he stabs it forward. That's Bolt. And now this is Hamilton with it. He has option towards the right through Scott. He's going for the traffic and negotiating his way through it. This is now Francis giving Hamilton the return pass, but denied by St. George's here. And now Francis again, trying to find Hamilton, but he handled the ball inadvertently. The whistle goes against him, unfortunately. It's 45 minutes showing on our watch. We are now into injury time in this, the first half of the 1992 Manning Cup final. The end of the first stanza. It's Tivoli 1 through a 37-minute strike from captain Claudius Massop, and St. George's 0. Your impressions, Mark?
a wonderful 45 minutes. Both teams play very attacking football. It's very enjoyable to see the teams not keeping the ball. They're passing the ball forward. They're taking shots. Unfortunately, St. George's forward cannot take the shot as they used to. The Tivoli team playing very beautiful football. They release the ball up front. They move the ball to penalty. They take shots. They got one goal out of it. I think that the second half, that the rhythm of the game should change. Georges will have to come from behind this time. Tivoli will go there, and knowing Tivoli in the second half against Georges and against other teams, they will probably be able to maintain as long as they are defending properly and they keep on attacking from time to time. And I see a very excited second half.
Well, thank you very much, Mark, and we'll be back at the start of the stanza. Well, we're about to witness the start of the second half here. Tivoli leading this contest by 1-0. St. George's College, after powering into the final, finding themselves down. What do you think their strategies are going to be, Mark Mendel?
Well, it's definitely a second half for Georges to come and be more precise in their shooting. Naturally, this time they are the one to come from behind if they are to equalize. And I think that the match is going to be very interesting from now on. I think that Tivoli are going to try to maintain the lead, do some attacking for the time, but definitely Georges have something to work on right now.
Well, St. George's now in possession through Williams. Forward, aiming for water and block. Brilliant, Chung.
Very unfortunate for St. George's. The guy, he should have taken the shot right away. He tried to control and take the shot. Very good defense by Tivoli. It looked like it was going to get a penalty around. The guy was, the George's player was a little pushed. The referee didn't see so. The game continuing.
Well, no play you're missing just now. One Tivoli defender on the ground. Can't quite make out who it is. It might well be Marcellus Bolt, but I'm not certain from here. The chance in the meantime in the background. Georges. Tivoli responding merely by waving that orange and black flag. In the meantime, the paramedics have been called onto the field to attend to the stricken Tivoli player down there. He is back onto his feet, and all seems to be well now for a restart. Philipson to take the throw to restart the game here, a long one. Header turned out there by Jackson, and finally blasted clear by him again, only as far as to Prendergast, who sends a speculative effort towards the right. Julian Chung with the ball, deciding now to handle it, sending his men forward, and a high one aimed at Hamilton. And now Jackson taken away here by Prendergast, and he finds Spencer. And here comes Chris Brown, reclaimed here by Chung, finding Williams. Lovely ball controlled by him, but taken here by Paul Scott to find Steve Green. Still Green going forward for Tivoli, has support, and knocked away there by Jason Chung, crashing to the turf and looking for sympathy from the referee. None forthcoming, so life goes on. Throw to be taken by Paul Scott, I presume. Scott on the near flank to take it for them, aiming it at Green, but knocked out once again by Chung. And gradually Tivoli are gaining very valuable ground into St. George's territory. 3.5 minutes of the second half gone. Green receiving the pass and turning on his man this time. Still very lightning speed there exhibited by him. Ball touched across the line by Jason Chung, so the second corner of the match goes to Tivoli. And let's see who will be taking it for them. It seems as though it might well be Kingsley Hamilton. No, it is in fact Kevin Jackson, in fact. Kevin Jackson sending that one across there and taken by the very competent Ethel Scott. Williams trying to send it back into the pressure zone, hitting off the St. George's player towards the right, and Tivoli claims the throw. Now Massop, let down by his ball control that time, yields the throw to Georges, and Phillipson to do duties for them. A long one upfield, aiming it at Robinson, but turned back down by Williams. But now this is Spencer for St. George's, finding McLean. And, well, inadvertently kept it, and now it goes. St. George's to take the throw, and McLean to do it for them this time, finding Robinson. And that will go for a corner. So that ball there turned across the goal line. Is this a sign of danger, Mark?
Yes, that's as expected. St. George's are coming in the second half with more purpose to equalize. It looks like they're trying. This corner might be dangerous.
Williams with it, and coming back to Steve Green here. He has Jason Chung with him all the time, and Chung turns it out for a Tivoli throw. So they have survived it, and actually did the Tivoli defense a favor by not placing that ball in the pressure zone inside the 6 yards box. This is Scott looking for Hamilton and finds him now. Hamilton trying to touch it past Phillipson, but here is Spencer. The kick goes against Tivoli. And let's see, will Spencer go for it himself? Yes, he might. And he does. Robinson trying to, Rose rather, trying to find Robinson. And this is Spencer again. McLean on the far side. And McLean still with the ball. Still McLean going forward. Gets across, and Ali Rose was denied by Bolt in centre defence for Tivoli. And now Chung tries to keep the pressure on, finding Phillipson. And Phillipson finding McLean again. Well, McLean in control. He has support now through Williams. He goes for the cross and turned out once again. Oh, well over the bar. Well, Mark, one thing is evident here is that St. George's are not playing the ball on the ground, but are using the ball in the air to find the players on the flank. Do you think this is a strategy they need to succeed against Tivoli now?
That's precisely what Tivoli did in the first half. I think Georges realized that, and this is what they are doing there now. Kevin Phillipson, an excellent, talented midfielder. Good shot. I think that Georges are settling now. However, the Tivoli have a purpose in the second half, and it's look like they are trying to maintain it.
Well, 7.5 minutes gone in the second half. St. George is on the defensive, but here comes Phillipson, who touches it square to Williams, and Williams wasting no time trying to find McLean on the flank down there, but Williams is there with him. Williams for the Tivoli team, and touched away and claimed by McLean, and finally blasted into oblivion by Clark for Tivoli. But the drums just teasing just now. Almost silence inside the stands as Phillipson sends it one high and turned away by Massabit. Coming back to Phillipson, he tries to find his man, but turned out there by Hamilton, and finally knocked clear by Bolt. That will breach Sandra across the touchline. The throw will go to Georges. The man they call Matlock, Phillipson, in fact, the number 16, is a good kicker of the ball. Let's see what the set play will be here for St. George's. Still to remind you, second half action here. St. George's 0, Tivoli 1. Ali Rose to take it. And over the bar, but not very far, Mark.
No, an excellent free kick by Ali Rose. Anywhere on the far left or right, he would have taken it to the score. Fortunately, the shots for Georges today are not as good as they used to be.
Well, Tivoli players once again switching their booth. This is Richard Williams, changing his shoes now for the Tivoli team. Kick to be taken by Paul Scott. Will he be turning it out? That one driven forward. Claimed here by Francis. And Francis trying to send Jackson forward, but turned out there by Hall for Georges. This is now Williams. Finding Robinson. And McLean claiming it for Georges. And trying to find Spencer. And now Robinson on the far side. Can he keep this in? Here comes the cross and the flag is up. Ignored by the referee. And a thunderous one from Jason Chung, skidding all along the wet turf. But the St. George's players, not the players, more so like the spectators, are happy that at least St. George's have developed this attacking desire, a quest for scoring goal.
Yes, indeed, George is taking control of the game. Tivoli are under defense. However, I think that the shots of the Georges are not precise. The movements are good. They have to be more precise on their shooting.
Well, in the meantime, St. George's make that Tivoli warming up a player. It might well be Craig Stewart or Colin Powell. Number 7, Colin Powell, we can recall, proved a match winner against Calabar for Tivoli last year in the semi-finals there. Came on and he scored a vital goal that put Tivoli ahead of Calabar into the final. He hasn't played many games since. Cross here coming from Georges, turned out by and shot towards goal, and finally stabbed away by Chris Brown. Is going towards Marcellus Bolt, and now to Massap, and Massap wheels it forward looking for Steve Green, but denied there by Dane Hall, and now to Phillipson. And the entire team was caught in the offside position there.
I cannot understand the linesman. 3 Georges players were on offside, and he allowed the game to continue.
Well, St. George is still on the attack now, and now they get this free kick. Definitely have been having the majority of play, and could this be psychological here, Mark?
Yes.
Where we've seen, well, coming close again, over the bar, on the outside of the net. Tivoli under a lot of pressure, and we see they warming up 2 players. Could this be psychological to get the team to come to their senses against the St. George's onslaught?
Yes, I think what happened in Tivoli camp right now is that there's a lot of misunderstanding and some quarreling taking place, and that can disturb the concentration. A change now will be most appropriate to let the Tivoli get back to themselves and play football.
Well, handle ball and spotted by the referee, so another free kick awarded to St. George's here. Since the start of the second half, they've had majority possession, and certainly with me that Tivoli team will have to be careful, because eventually if this pressure is maintained, they may finally crack. They are in the lead, and the saying goes, the horse in front must be caught, but it's only going to take a moment of carelessness for that to happen. High one. Back at it there by Phillipson, and to McLean. Hunter coming out of the deep, offering a hand, but he has Williams there with him, and Williams wins the battle for Tivoli. Coming back to Prendergast. Prendergast coming forward, and look at the St. George's team, all three of them in the outside position again. And not only that, Mark, if you notice, there's only one single defender standing back for St. George's now.
Yes, that's exactly. The entire Georges are taking Tivoli by storm. The Tivolis are not finding their way. They cannot get forward. It looks like they have to ease that pressure and start to play the football and the way they played in the first half.
Well, Tivoli trying to get something organized here. This is Captain Massop. Needs to stamp his authority here. Jason missing, and here's Steve Green. Green going forward, he fires a shot, but danger's not averted. Now it is finally. Edzo Scott, thanks to him. And now Hamilton steals that ball from Williams and knocks clear by Jason Chung, who commits a foul on Kingsley Hamilton. And the kick now will go to Tivoli team. And with this free kick, Mark, this is where Tivoli sadly misses Marvin Morgan.
That's correct. I think that this free kick will probably be giving a little change to the type of the game that has been played so far. Georges are very powerful right now. They are trying everything they can to equalize. Time is running short for them, and Tivoli eventually might come into themselves, and that's what Georges should be concerned about.
Well, this is Paul Scott to take the throw. Throws it back, finding Francis. And Francis trying to get that one through the middle through a conglomeration of St. George's players. And now Ali Rose goes forward and knocked away there by Williams, and finally fired clear, but not clear enough from Marcellus Brown, picked up there by Prendergast. And this is Massop aiming this one for Green, who doesn't manage to keep it in. But however, the captain is leading from up front. And let's see who this player will be to come on. It seems as though it is Craig Stewart, the man who was nominated to take the place of Marvin Morgan. And now this is Steve Green on the tackle all the time from Jason Chung. Drives it forward, picked up over there by Williams, and now to Steve Green again. And let's see, Phillipson upsetting that particular rhythm and fired out by the Tivoli defense. And the throw will go to St. George's on the far side. Francis is coming off. And Craig Stewart will go on. And quite a good change indeed, Mark.
Yes, I think that the Tivoli player is injured, and he has not been too good. I think that the change is good. It will put a little more power in the midfield, and hopefully that the forward players like Massop has been dormant so far will get more balls up front.
Well, this is Phillipson trying to keep the attacking thrust going for Georges. This is Robinson, and over the bar. Well, in former times, Robinson would have scored that one. Was under pressure, and he wheeled that one on the pivot. We've seen him score some like those, but this one was not to be. Could this be a sign that the cup might be moving to Western Kingston?
Well, it's too early to say, but certainly St. George's forward shots are definitely something that we have not seen for the season. They are not precise, they are wide, and it looks like they just don't get it right.
Well, Tivoli in possession here in George's domain. Interception coming from Jason Chung. Tries to find Spencer, but reclaimed here by Hamilton for Tivoli. Looking for his captain towards the left, but blasted clear by Hunter. Coming back to the Tivoli defense, and now Stewart gets his first real touch. And turned it back by St. George's, that's Dane Hall. And let's see, lovely chip, but he intended to find Steve Green. That attacking momentum just never got going. But here is Tivoli now trying to get this ball out of trouble as St. George's urgency looking for that goal. Foul call against Tivoli. The kick will go in favor of St. George's, Let's see who will be taking it for them. Will it be Ali Rose or will it be McLean? Well, McLean has nominated himself to take it, and they are very good at this. Won't be surprised to see him hang the ball towards the far post. This is Phillipson with a glancing header. Oh! Well, he hesitated at first, but he was lucky that it came at the pace it did. Could have been in trouble there.
Yes, Kevin Phillipson has been an outstanding player for many years now. He is basically the reason why the forwards from Georges are playing so well. And it looks like he's doing it again today.
Well, here is Spencer passing that one to Chung, overlapping out of the deep. Jason Chung still going, touching and finding Rose, and Rose to Robinson, and Robinson trying to give him the return pass. And recovery by Paul Scott turns it out for a throw to St. George's. Well, lots of pressure here, not to be unexpected because Tivoli had taken the lead, but perhaps the intensity of the pressure is what is actually absorbing just now.
Yeah, maybe Tivoli come into the second half, try to defend too early, and that might cost them. I think that it's very important that you are defending, but 45 minutes, a long way to go, and right now every Georges player is in the Tivoli half.
Well, every single one indeed. This is Dane Hall, the man who plays the last defense for them, and now this Williams heaving over and hooked away, and a free kick been given against Conroy Brown, indirect. Ali Rose over it. Will he try to touch it across to McLean on the far side? Well, that puddle of mud across there will dictate against that. Well, it was indirect, so an affront to common sense to go direct, and all that results from that is a goal kick to the Tivoli team, and the Tivolites are happy, as can be illustrated by the flags everywhere. Not a single drooped Tivoli flag just now. They're leading by 1-0. It doesn't need more than one goal to claim the cup. This is Massap trying to find Steve Green. An awful lot of work for him here. He's on the tackle all the time from Chung, who recovers quite well for St. George's, and he tries to find Spencer and does. Spencer with the ball, gets it to Phillipson. Phillipson option towards the right, and he goes for it and tries to find Williams and does. This is Andrew Williams with the ball, now been tackled by Stewart, and now McLean winning it once again and finding Troy Robinson on the far side. Robinson gets across, and well, it took a while there, did Brown, but this has turned into a counter-attack. This is Massap on the ball, support arriving, Steve Green is there, and so too is Kevin Jackson, and now this is Stewart! And straight to Scott.
A wonderful shot from Tivoli. I think that it was a good move by myself. He brought the ball back inside to the shot to be taken. A very good pass, and it looks like the goal is in the air for either side right now.
Well, Spencer looking for Rose. Rose hooking it down, getting the cross in. Williams is there, and Robinson too. Well, Williams and Robinson. He has decided to leave it for Williams. Now back to McLean on the far side. McLean knocking back and hoping to have found Hunter in the number 18 shirt, but turned out the throw to St. George's and McLean to take it again. What an absorbing match, Mark.
Yes, it is indeed. Georges are having the best of the 45 so far, but we must not look at that as the end of it. I think that Tivoli have a counter-attack and can get them to goal score again, and Georges have to worry.
Well, Phillipson receiving now for Georges. Oh, lovely touch to McLean on the far side. And this is Williams overlapping out of the middle and tries to send his man forward. Well, corner. And St. George's definitely not lying down and dying.
No, normally under so much tremendous pressure, a team should get a goal. It looks like Georges just can't find the right thing to score that goal. A corner kick now might give them that chance.
Well, Julian Chung is back on his feet, and he will be in goal for Tivoli again. And here comes the corner. headed towards goal and hooked away by Stewart. Well, one player falling on the far side of the ball. It might be Massip across there. Well, Stewart finding Jackson. Couldn't quite see what happened there, but he's definitely in genuine pain. He wasn't in the action that was taking place while that corner was contemplated. And shortly after the corner, we saw him actually crash into the mud. And it's hardly likely the player that Tivoli would want to lose now. It's in fact Claudius Massop that is down there, Mark. And let's hope for Tivoli's sake that the captain can through to the end.
Well, he's been inspired, Tivoli, very much for the past few matches. I think that it will be a blow to Tivoli to lose Massop at this point. So far it looks like he'll be okay. He's getting up right now, been attended by Tivoli doctors. It's really look that this game right now needed to cool down as far as Tivoli is concerned. The Georges put tremendous pressure. It's 25 minutes gone in the second half. Tivoli leading 1-0, and it looks like Georges cannot find a way on scoring the equalizer. Looking at the next few minutes of the game, it looks like Tivoli might cool it down and try to play some attacking football, at least not to defend as they did, because it's very dangerous, and Georges have excellent opportunity of scoring, which they did not. So let's see what happens for the next few minutes.
Well, Massop is back on his feet to the delight of the Tivolites, especially down towards the side, towards the edge of the fence, towards the cycle track. And St. George's are about contemplating a change now. Orlando Walters is warming up, a man who has been often demanded by the many Georgian stand, especially towards this section of the stand every time a match has been played involving St. George's. Orlando Walters, popularly known as Yo-Yo, is about to make his entry, and the man who might well come off at this stage might be the number 9, Trevor Spencer. But, well, only time will tell. The ball is still in play now, and this is Jackson for Tivoli, picked up now by Williams, who sweeps across and finds Chung. Chung with the ball, trying to get it through the centre, knocked away by Chris Brown. And let's see, recovered here by Prendergast, but denied by Hamilton. Throw to St. George's. Jason Chung to take it for them. Oh, play on, says the referee, looking for Massop, but here is Hunter. Cal still with the ball, finding Phillipson, and Phillipson tries to give him the return pass, but taken here by Marcellus Bowl, who tries to send Kevin Jackson forward. Jackson with the ball, still Jackson, who fires a shot, quite a powerful one. Only a pity that one couldn't have gone to target, then would have seen the true worth of Edsel Scott in goal for St. George's.
Yeah, that shot was not a necessary shot. The left link was coming in free. That ball should go across to the other side of the field and could see Tivoli pull up. Unfortunately, he decided to take the shot very wide, out of target, and the Georges goalie kick.
Well, quite a surprising change, Mark, because it's the number 11, Troy Robinson, who has been taken off. I'm certain that he hates this very much. It might well be his last match for the season, and that would have been the last thing that he would have wanted for the 1992 season. But now this is McLean going forward. McLean going forward, and Rose is supporting towards the centre. And this is Spencer, knocked out there by Clark. And this is Williams hooking it away, but only as far as to Orlando Walters, who gets his first touch, finding Phillipson. And Phillipson looking for Rose again. Rose with the ball, but he has a dangerous Paul Scott there with him. And finally taken here by Kingsley Hamilton, who finds his captain, Claudius Massop, who certainly, even from the stage, if he continues along the spot, looks like a certain national player. But now this is Dane Hall sending that one forward for this team again. And now McLean trying to find Walters, but taken away here by Stewart. Stewart with the ball for them. Oh, looking for Jackson, and this is Massop. Oh, lovely touch here, trying to find Scott, and finally turned out the throw will go to Tivoli. And well, Mark, I'm not certain if you are accustomed to the expression used by the Tivoli supporters in urging their team on. The urge is to bounce the rhythm, man, bounce the rhythm. And we saw a little glimpse of that when they attacked some moments ago. Well, free kick to be given here to Tivoli, and let's see who will be taking it for them. It might well be their captain, Claudius Massop.
Yeah, what it looks like right now is that Tivoli are taking control of the game. I think that it will be a very, very positive move for Tivoli to go and dominate the next 10-15 minutes toward the end of the game and maintain the lead. But it certainly looks that Tivoli are coming back into themselves. They do more attacking football now. The Georges, it might slow down the Georges players, because the change that was made, it is a change of a player who is always a starter, always scoring goals. So that might be to the advantage of Tivoli right now.
And as the crowd sit in awe at this game, a tremendous final it has been. One of the most attacking finals I've ever seen in schoolboy football at the National Stadium. Both teams attacking, both teams giving their spectators entertainment for money. But one thing that is evident here is that only one team that is enjoying the advantage just now, and that's a school from Western Kingston, Tivoli Gardens Comprehensive, who last won the Manning Cup way back in 1976. They were at the final in 1991 last year, and they were there also in 1983 against this very St. George's team. But now this is Hunter coming out of the deep for them, knocked clear by Clark and finding his captain, but denied by Dane Hall and by Hamilton, who touches to Marcellus Bolt, and Bolt now to Kevin Jackson, and Jackson trying to find Steve Green on the far side, and hooked away here by Prendergast for St. George's, and Clark coming, firing towards the left. And let's see, this is still Tivoli in control. This is a cross, and can Massop keep it in? Yes, he does. And Steve Green, oh, well, he wasn't in total position for the header. He tried it nevertheless. He saw it was going nowhere, and so too did Massop, who gave up on the effort. Now it is Tivoli racing back in defence, and Clark knocking it out for a throw to the St. George's team. Moments really ticking away for the light blues, as the drums on the near side are now totally silent. 32 minutes gone in the second half, and now the throw to be taken here by Chung. And coming back to Scott, who heaves over, trying to find Marcellus Bolt. Bolt still with the ball, touching and finding Massop, and getting the return passes. Bolt getting it towards the centre, finding Hamilton with the ball, having it knocked away from him. And this is Phillipson claiming possession now for Georges. And Georges now finding this one in McLean. And now Ali Rose! Oh, denied once again. Rose tries to turn it in, and finally hooked away. Well, that was as close as one could get. Mark Mendel.
A good come by the Tivoli goalkeeper towards the ball. He certainly saved a goal for Tivoli. And it looks like George's momentum is coming back to them. A corner for them, which is a dangerous corner. And let's see what is taking place now.
Well, Williams to take it. Walters on the far side. Rose flicking that one towards the centre, booted out by Massop. And it's remarkable to see how easily this man Massop can at one moment find himself in attack, and at the other moment finding himself to give a hand to the defensive play.
But he's the leader of the team, he's the captain. He is certainly showing an example in that he's always been a very disciplined, very dedicated player, and today is no exception.
Well, there he was going forward again, trying to work in concert with the number 11, Steve Green, but Scott deciding to leave his domain, and decisively so, and broke up all that ambition exhibited there by Tivoli. Now this is Stewart touching back and trying to find Williams. Williams on the far side, and McLean giving chase. Well, if he wasn't sure that it was out, then that time there was no doubt. Into the stands it goes, and it's a message, a summary to the St. George's team that there's no way you're going to breach our net today. We're the leaders at 1-0.
Yes, we are going into the last 10 minutes of the game. Tivoli are determined to maintain the lead under pressure from Georges. I still don't think that that's the way to do it. It's too early still, at 10 minutes to go. They must get the ball moving forward and play safe into the defense.
Oh, Ali Rose! Well, A moment of carelessness by Tivoli on the left flank. A beautiful move by Orlando Walters. A beautiful cross to Ali Rose. And Georges have found the equalizer in the 80th minute of play.
Yes, the excitement, it looked like it just began. As I said a moment earlier, the Tivoli defenders must watch the forward from Georges. I think that that's exactly what took place. They allow them to be free, and it's going to be very interesting to see what will take place right now.
Well, this is Steve Green. And now Hamilton sending the cross in. And on top of the net once again. And quite a few spectators were fooled there. But Tivoli had not taken this lying down. They've come straight back with a counter-attack, Mark.
Yes, if we have to look at the statistics of Tivoli coming from behind and almost every match, this is the moment for Tivoli to prove that they are in fact able to win a game coming from behind.
Well, we notice that Tivoli is about a substitution. Kevin Jackson will be taken off, and Colin Powell, a man who played in the final last year, will be taking his place. And Colin Powell does have the knack to score goals. He has scored quite a few beautiful and important goals for Tivoli last year. But in the same breath, the St. George's team, after scoring, are warming up Mario Ho, a man who has not been very active on the St. George's team. Now is this open warfare.
Yes, I think that Georges are very motivated by the goal that they just scored. The change for Tivoli is very needed. It's a forward player, combined ball very well with Masso, and which looks like both teams are determined to win the matches in the 90 minutes.
Well, the drums have been revived, and the great Georges flags are now waving towards Aura. Blue and white, and the chants ringing out. Georgians are happy again, while the Tivolites are somewhat disappointed, and this is what really makes a great game. Quite an enthralling game here in the 1992 Manning Cup final. This is Stewart touching now to Bolt, and Bolt trying to find Hamilton, and here is Walters who finds Williams, and Williams now, oh! Ali Rose again! Ali Rose again! So, Mark, the celebration had barely died down when another beautiful cross finds Ali Rose again, and Ali Rose has away. He has scored 3 hat-tricks in the season so far. Coming into this match, he scored 13 Manning Cup goals and 3 Walker Cup goals. That's a total of 16, and these 2 strikes have now made him 18 in the competition.
General, I just said a while ago that both teams are determined to win the match within the 90 minutes, and it looks like Georges have come on it. They are leading 2-1, and it is, in my opinion, that that's the result of the 90 minutes.
Well, it's a difference between an ordinary player and a potentially great player. Ali Rose, in former times, would not have hesitated to score many of the chances we have seen him put away, put wide. And in the second half, the St. George's team came back with great resolution, with great purpose. The light blues have prevailed again. It's now St. George's 2, Tivoli 1, but Tivoli are not finishing. Colin Powell denied there. Well, we did make a foul up a while ago. The score is still 1-1. In the excitement of everything, I didn't see that the ball was centered. That goal for Ali Rose will not count. It is still 1-1 in the match. And let's see, on the defensive. Offside goal was called, and I was much too busy trying to get the statistics together. Still, it's a level ball game out there. It's a level field still. It's still Tivoli 1, St. George's 1. Offside called. And this is winning the throw, and will give it to Williams. The drums are beating again. Well, one St. George's player is on the turf now. One minutes gone in the second half. 4 minutes to the end of the match, and we might well be seeing extra time. And if you don't mind, Sharp, the dreaded penalty kicks.
As I said earlier, everything happened so fast. The George's attack was the goal that was scored, a beautiful goal. It is hardly we could see from here the offside position. At 1-1, both teams are going to try to keep it for extra time, and the extra time, I think that Tivoli team, knowing their ability, they will be at the top of George's.
Well, St. George's, if nothing, have shown genuine class here today. They have recovered that confidence, that poise, that powered them into the final of the Manning Cup. No play. Let's see if Tivoli will adapt and utilize that admonition to their own effect. Williams with a throw, trying to find Massap. Taking here, and now Orlando Walters. Denied finally by Clark. And Williams trying to get it towards the right again, recovered here by Massap. Massap going forward. Massap with a shot! And just wide. Well, the atmosphere here is one of great anticipation, great rivalry. The playing field is once again level. Prendergast with a kick, finding Spencer. Spencer's flicking forward, finding Rose, who's looking for Walters. Cut out there by Stewart, and Stewart not doing as best he could with it. Offside call against Williams on the far side. Tivoli using the offside trap. We saw them in the first half utilizing it, and this time, lucky for them, they succeeded, where Ali Rose put that ball into the back of the net, only that it was not counted. This is Phillipson touching forward and finding Spencer, Walters, and Williams not managing to get the shot. This is Stewart pumping forward, turned out there by the George's defense, and now square to Williams, and Williams not managing to keep it in. So Colin Powell, the man who has come on, winning the throw for Tivoli, which Paul Scott is to take for them. Scott to Steve Green, and Green back to Scott, and Scott aiming this one at Massap, and finding his captain nicely. Oh, well, he's going forward. Oh, lovely pass there to Colin Powell, but he was caught in the offside position. Richard Nathan on the near side, indicating with the red and gold flag that it was offside. And now this is Stewart trying to get past McLean, and now Ali Rose blocked, and the corner.
A powerful shot from 30 yards from St. George's forward. A good save, the goalkeeper, a corner kick. If they will survive this corner kick, we look forward for the extra time. The teams will be tired, but I think that the standard so far has been very good.
Well, it definitely seems clear, unless something can happen from this corner here, Mark, that this game will be going into extra time. We've seen the expiration of the second 45 minutes on our watch. We're now into injury time, and it seems as though more injury time may be imminent, because the St. George's player is now on the ground. It might well be Ali Rose down there. But in the meantime, Williams has crossed the far side to take this free kick for St. George's. No, it's not in fact Williams. It might be Trevor Spencer across there. Or not Spencer, but Marvin McLean to take the corner for St. George's. Have to double check this. Oh well, this is Orlando Walters with the corner. Here is the corner now. Oh, turned out there by the Tivoli defense and knocked away by Colin Powell to Steve Green. And Green sending Stewart forward, but denied there by Hunter. Hunter with a lovely ball to McLean, and towards the right there was Walters, and Tivoli with a faint-hearted counter-attack. This ball comes right back to Edsel Scott for them. Scott with the ball. I think both teams are now just for the final whistle to gear themselves mentally to go into the extra time, which is imminent here. Orlando Walters towards the right, headed out there by Brown for the Tivoli team, and claimed here by McLean. McLean gets it towards the centre and turned out once again by Tivoli. Stewart turning across and finding Bolt, Marcellus Bolt, finding Steve Green on the far side. Green with the ball, touching once again to Bolt, and now it is claimed here by Phillipson, who touches towards the centre, finding Hall, and Hall finds McLean nicely. Williams, lovely stuff here by St. George's, and Ali Rose over his head, and denied. Well, both Paul Scott and Christopher Brown coming back as a team for Tivoli to avert certain crisis there, and Tivoli lives to fight again, and they're battling on. 2.5 minutes of injury time have already been added, and from the look of things, it might not even into extra time. Well,
it almost scored a while ago. Although I saw the offside, George's play was an offside. It looked like the referee is ready to stop the game for extra time. The last attack from Tivoli, it's definitely an extra time match.
Well, ball coming back into the Tivoli defence, sent forward there by Williams, aiming for Steve Green, but found Phillipson instead. And Prendergast knocking forward again, hoping to find Rose, turned out by Williams, and now he finds Bolt, and Bolt drives forward looking for Powell. And that's the end of, oh well, not the end of the regulation time just as yet. It's a free kick awarded to St. George's, taken here by Prendergast, looking for Williams, turned out there by Clark, and now finding Hamilton, and Hamilton to Stewart. Stewart with the ball, sending it forward, and now Powell is going in pursuit of it, but here comes Edsel Scott in goal for the St. George's team. High one. Well, the chairs continue to rise now. SDGC, and it might be EXTRATIME. Well, over on the far side, this is McLean with the ball, still going forward, aiming that one for Orlando Walters, but denied by Tivoli. And here comes Chris Brown for the Tivoli team, and now Chung for George's. This is now Stewart for the Tivoli team, missing it and luckily getting it back. Still Stewart, and finding Hamilton, claimed now by St. George's, and this is Scott looking rather clean, but Williams has stolen the ball and tries to send Rose forward again. Oh, well, Clark came back this time for Tivoli and denied them. So, well, is this a certain sign that it might not be St. George's Cup?
I don't think so. It's just that they are very unlucky for the past two. They have two glorious chances, and it just looked like they missed them very, very badly. But good come from the Tivoli goalkeeper. He basically blocked the George's player. We are far well on into injury time. I can't understand that 5 minutes gone already extra time. I think we should look for the extra time for the match right now.
Well, 5 minutes into injury time, and who to tell? Perhaps this referee made it and can't accommodate any more time here, so he's been generous. Might well be the last attack of the match, however. Richard Williams on the far side taking what could be the final throw for Tivoli here, trying to find Steve Green. And St. George is gaining possession here. Banged away by Chris Brown, coming back to Phillipson for St. George's, who heaves it back into the pressure zone. And that's Williams across there with Williams, two Williams, Andy Williams and Richard Williams. And finally it's Richard Williams who gets it to Steve Green in a shirt of his own color. This is Green with the ball, sweeping across now to Massap, and Massap now having, oh, well, he might have sent Stewart forward towards the left, or on the far side there was Colin Powell, and in the center there was Steve Green. I think a little bit of indiscretion on the part of Massap there.
Very unfortunate for him, because he usually passes the ball to the next player. He has a good shot, but the ball should have gone to the right wing. He has a far better opportunity.
Well, here it comes. It's the end of the first 90 minutes of this play, and we are about to be treated to another 40 minutes, which will make it 130 minutes all told. Failing that, if the match stays deadlocked, then it is going to be penalty kicks, and if penalties fail to decide it, then it will of course be the sudden death shootout. Mark, quickly your assessment, and what can we expect in going into extra time?
What will happen now is that both teams will get instructions from the coaches, play very safe and hoping to go into penalty, but either team that does not consider the stability of the extra time now and allow themselves to lose it in the defense will end up losing the game.
Fact in a row that the Manning Cup final has gone into extra time. In 1990 it was Camperdown and Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith prevailing on penalties. In 1991 it was Ardennes and Tivoli Gardens. Ardennes prevailing on penalties after both teams played to a 1-1 regulation and extra time scoreline. Now 1992, Tivoli and St. George's College, and both teams are locked at 1-1 here. St. George is on the defensive now. This is Steve Green towards the right. Steve Green with the ball, tackle all the time there by Jason Chung. And Chung getting it out. Stewart not doing the best with it for Tivoli. And now this is Andy Williams. Williams with it for Georges, trying to find Orlando Walters going forward again. But it's going across the touchline on the far side. The throw to be taken by Tivoli, and Paul Scott across there to take it for them. Scott. And now this is Clark knocking clear, but only to Walters, and Walters forces it through to Spencer, but it's coming back to Scott, and now Stewart. Stewart pushes it, finding Hamilton, and Scott will allow that one across the line for the throw to be taken by Tivoli. Both teams, in fact, have thought that they have won the ball. In fact, it's Georges who have won the ball. So Jason Chung on the far side to take it for them. Well, the cheers have died down somewhat in the stand, with the possible exception of those rumbling drums you can hear there. Williams trying to hook that one over. But here is Brown in defense. And Chung recovering to Walters. And it turned out there. And Phillipson blocked. St. George is still in possession. Offside call again, rose again. Oh, it might have been Andy Williams on the far side. This is Steve Green for Tivoli. On the tackle from Prendergast. Green still going forward, and the corner is forced. Well, Steve Green would have had a little option there because he was so far forward of the other Tivoli players who are arriving to lend a hand in attack. And quite a subdued game at the moment, Mark.
Yes, I think that they're trying to take opportunities to feel each other, ability to move. They are tired. The corner for Tivoli now, it's a dangerous corner. It's again.
Well, Massap recovering here for Tivoli. Well, still with the ball, finding Green. Green towards the right and finding Stewart. And now Stewart with a shot. Over the bar.
Well, what is taking place now is that both teams trying to take advantage of the situation. I think that both teams are very dangerous in the attack. Tivoli shots have not been consistent so far. Georges are far more dangerous attacking. But we have to watch and see the condition of the players right now.
Well, this is Hamilton trying to find Massa, but fired away there by Hunter. And the throw to be taken by Tivoli. And Richard Williams almost limping towards the line to take it for them. Very bitter is the memory of last year's defeat in penalty shootout at the hands of Arden Tivoli. And this is Spencer being checked. But Pleon says the referee, Massap glancing that one to Bolt. And Bolt leaving it to Stewart. And back now to Williams. And Williams trying to search out Powell. Powell trying to create space towards the left. He can't keep it in. Well, he has managed to do so. And gets a cross in. And Green missing it. Oh, well, a glorious chance for Tivoli. Goes a begging. Lovely recovery from Colin Powell, who has that famous name. Colin Powell, you can remember, was the top American general who led Allied forces in war against the Iraqis last year. Another son of Jamaica, and another Colin Powell doing battle of a different kind here on the football field of the National Stadium. Sent forward there by Brown for Tivoli. Aiming it for Stewart. But this is Spencer. Spencer now to McLean. And McLean sending Walters forward. Attacking options towards the right. And Ali Rose not managing to get the header he wanted onto it. Recovered here by the Tivoli defense. Sending this one to his captain, Massap. And wheeling it forward. And now St. George is claiming it and trying to create a lightning counter-attack here through Williams. Knocked away by Stewart. And Williams recovering and running diagonally on the far flank, sending the cross low. And turned out by Brown, who sends Stewart forward again. And he's looking for Green on the far side and finding him. Oh, Matlock is chasing him for all he's worth. Well, chance here. Colin Powell. Well, Colin Powell was the man who sent the cross in before now, which was missed by Steve Green, and Powell missing one of his own. Well, Tivoli having the best chances in the first segment of extra time to take lead and perhaps seal the Manning Cup. 6.5 minutes gone in the first segment of extra time. Just 3.5 remaining before the segment is called to a halt. This is Williams looking for Massap and finding him. Massap hooking forward. And let's see, Colin Powell is there on the arrowhead. Turned out there by Dane Walker. Trying to find Hamilton. And here is Ali Rose. Rose with the ball. Still Rose, been shadowed all the time. The shot! Oh, Walters missing it. And turned out by the Tivoli defense. And here is Williams, he's dangerous. Final knocked away, but not clear enough. Walters switching it to Williams. And now giving it away to Williams on the far side, to Stewart on the far side. The throw will be taken by Tivoli. And much to the relief of the Tivoli fans, Tivoli will take the throw and a breath of relief.
Yeah, both teams have glorious opportunity and a match to score. Both were safe. It looks like it's another extra time of excitement. both teams are trying to determine the match without going to penalty kicks.
Well, this is Tivoli on the attack now. Oh, into the side netting. And the flag was up in any case for offside against Colin Powell. Or was it? Well, what certainly the flag is doing now is indicating that it's a Tivoli corner. Can't quite make out this player who was going across to take it. It might well be Kingsley Hamilton. Here it comes, and straight to Scott. Thunderous applause, generous applause rather. This is going to be Dwayne Prendergast to take the kick. Headed forward. Turned out there by Brown. Looking for Steve Green on the flank. And Jason Chung on the far side doing quite an efficient job for St. George's there. Sends it forward. Hamilton hooking that one towards Green. And Colin Powell is brought down. Play on, says the referee. Hamilton trying to send Powell forward again. And here is Massap. But so too is Scott. McLean. Andy Williams going forward. Still McLean with the ball. Trying to get past his man. Oh, well, that one was curling. But Julian Chung was equal to the task. The end of the first segment of extra time. It's still as it was at the end of regulation time. Tivoli won, St. George's won. And the second segment of time must now be do or die, Mark.
Yes, indeed. The first extra time period, both teams have excellent opportunity to score.
Well, Massap square to Green, and Green to Hamilton. Bolt, in fact, and gives his captain the return pass here. Oh, Massap! Oh, Green! Well, he had just a split ball, Mark, which he could have contemplated two things. Go on a bit more, or try to find it was Williams on the far post, but he went for the shot and hit it wide. Glorious opportunities going a-begging here.
I don't think that he expected the ball to come to him. He never intended to take a shot. The goal was almost empty for him to take it or pass it on. He never expected that ball.
Well, McLean. Walters. Trying to find Williams, but taken there by Williams. The other Williams, Richard Williams for Tivoli. Steve Green. And getting it to Powell. And here is Tivoli still. Still going, touching back now and finding Bolt. Orlando Walters counter-attacking here for St. George's. Ali Rose. Here is Ali Rose. Oh, blocked. Tried to beat him on the near side, but that was asking too much.
That's certainly one of the bad habits of the Jamaican forward. He should have get across to the far right, and certainly George would have scored. You cannot take a shot from that dead corner where he was.
Well, the corner goes to St. George's. They will in fact take it short. This is Spencer. Finding Rose. And Rose back to Spencer. And now Hamilton. Claiming it for Tivoli. Trying to find Green. But it goes out for a St. George's throw. And Andrew Williams for George's. Clark is there with him for Tivoli. Play on. Massap trying to create space here. And here is Andrew Rose. Oh, well. He went for another of those big shots, quite a few which have scored in the earlier segment of the competition, Mark. But he just wasn't in position this time.
No, not at all. He did never have no support, nobody to give the ball to. He decided to take a shot.
Just 3.5 minutes remaining before the end of the second segment of extra time. Tivoli still 1, St. George's 1. Well, certainly if the goal isn't forthcoming, then St. George's would certainly be favoured to win on penalties, because by all consensus they are technically, in terms of the basic aspects of the game, more able to get that ball into the back of the net from a penalty than Tivoli, as had been demonstrated last year when Tivoli lost out on penalties to Ardennes, and in 1983 when St. George's outdid Tivoli on penalties as well.
Yes, but you have to look at penalty as a 100% chance to score, a 100% chance to miss, and it can happen to every player. We saw great players missing penalty. I still believe that the game is open to both teams, even if there's a penalty situation.
Well, the moments are ticking away for both teams now. This is Powell trying to send Stewart forward, claimed here by McLean, tries to send Williams forward. And here is McLean coming back into the fray. This is dangerous stuff. Still going. Ali Rose giving support towards the centre. He gets the cross in. And oh! Walters! Orlando Walters! And here is McLean coming back into the fray. This is dangerous stuff. McLean still going. Ali Rose giving support towards the centre. He gets the cross in. And oh! Walters! Orlando Walters! Could be the winning goal for St. George's. It was really a beautiful goal. The action swinging from end to end. It swung just moments ago towards the George's goal, and immediately as it relented, it swung instantly to St. George's. The difference here is that they have scored, and now the Manning Cup is almost firmly in their grasp.
Yes, I just said before the goal scored that the game is still open to everyone, to either team. It looks like Georges have it under control, and that's so.
So, the 128th minute goal by Trevor Spencer. I thought for one moment that it might have been Orlando Walters, but it was in fact Trevor Spencer. Another chance here. Walters. Oh, make that, yes, Walters. Foul against Tivoli. Ali Rose to take this free kick. Here comes Williams. And still Williams. It into open space. Chung with a shot of his own. With the moments ticking away, St. George's having the crown halfway on their head.
Yeah, certainly this is probably the last second of the game, and it looks like Georges will be the champions of the 92-93 Manning Cup. The game was an excellent game on both sides. Both teams must be commended for this high standard of play up last minute, and certainly we have to look forward for more good football from the Manning Cup in the future.
Well, the scars of battle evident everywhere. The match is over, and St. George's have won the 1992 Manning Cup title after moments of uncertainty, moments of anxiety, Moments of pressure and dominance, Tivoli. They had to come from behind. They never did it before in this entire season. And come from behind they did. And they won quite a memorable final here at the National Stadium. Their 16th all told. And North Street reviving once again. North Street prevailing. St. George's College by 2-1. Goals from Ali Rowe and Trevor Spencer, giving them a 2-1 victory over Tivoli.